Hey, it's Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we are taking a detailed look at the rolling square inCharge XL in 3 different sizes that I've been testing over the course of the last month. So let's dive in and check it out. Okay, so first I want to talk about the materials here. So this metallic material on the outside is a zinc aluminum alloy. It's shiny, but as you can see, it can pick up fingerprints quite easily. So that's something to note as you're using this. It did pick up a couple of my fingerprints right at the beginning. It was a little bit shinier. That's something to notice with this version in this colorway. Now, previous inCharge models have been more matte. So this is the inCharge 10, which is a matte black, which you can see kind of chips up a little bit. And then these are the rolling square inCharge minis, which is like a matte gray that kind of had the same sort of chipping. So I don't know if they're trying something different. These ones haven't really chipped up yet. However, they are a bit shiny and can be prone to getting fingerprints on them. The rest of the materials inside of this thing are an aramid fiber, copper wires, TPU protection, and nylon for this braided portion here. They come in a couple of different sizes as well. So the one I'm holding right now is the 1-foot version, and then we have the 6.5-foot version right here in this yellow color, and then we have the 10-foot version too. And just to convert that to centimeters for you, this is 30 centimeters, 200 centimeters, and 300 centimeters. So the flat braided cable is nice. It feels relatively packable, especially on this smaller 1-foot size. There's a bit of reinforcement to it as well. I mean, I've been testing it for a month. Time will tell if using it for longer, how this holds up. But so far, we've had some pretty good luck with Rolling Square's products with a lot of their other things. We have tested a lot of their cables, and this is not their first product launch. They've done this a bunch of other years too. So they have a good amount of experience iterating on this style of cable. The cap here is really interesting on this version compared to the previous version that they launched. They have this little attachment here. So I really like it on the 1-foot version. I think it does a really good job at keeping things together. It kind of stays out of the way. It's nice, but we have it on these larger versions too, and it can kind of get lost in the shuffle. So when you're storing this again and wrapping it within itself, this cable can kind of get caught in between, this or something like that. And it's just a little bit harder to work with because you have to keep these together and magnetized, but it does a pretty good job at protection and keeping these 2 ports together. Then we have some Velcro too on these 2 larger versions, which keeps these, after you wrap it up, it keeps things together a little bit more. And actually, I'm just gonna unwrap this. But yeah, it's a little bit this cap thing can sort of slide down to the entirety of this thing, and then it's in the middle, and then you're kind of dealing with it down here. So I really, really like it in this 1-foot version. This 1-foot version is definitely my favorite version that they offer. And you can see that it is a little bit wider than the previous versions of the inCharge X or inCharge 10 and the inCharge 6. So you can just see the difference in sizes there. These things also come with a carrying case, which I found to be a little bit bulky. So this is the largest carrying case that they offer. This is for this 10-foot size. You can stuff it in here. It just feels kind of these 2 don't really go well together. I've just been stuffing this cable into my my tech kit, and it's been working pretty well while traveling. But there's something about this that's just pretty bulky. So I don't really keep it in here. I like to have it out. It does give it some silicone protection, which I guess, if this thing gets wet or something like that, it's gonna soak into the nylon. But if the silicone case gets wet, it's gonna be okay. But it's just gonna bead right off. But I don't really love this quite as much, just because it does seem kind of an afterthought. I think Rolling Square does such an excellent job at keeping everything cohesive and together, and this case feels a tad like an afterthought. And you can even see here with this cap, it's kind of starting to slip off. So it's kind of pulling against itself on these larger sizes. So again, really love how it operates with this smaller 1-foot size, but the larger can feel a little bit off. All 3 of these on the table here are 100 watt each. And another thing that I want to talk about that's a change between the inCharge 10 and the inCharge XL are the hinges on here. So you can see that the hinge goes a little bit further back, which allows that top piece to go a little bit further down. Let me see if I can give you a good look. I'm just gonna set these actually on the table here. So you can see that this small black version doesn't quite go down as far as the yellow version. And another thing they've added too is the ability for these to actually come off. So if you pull it in the right direction, they come off. These have never disengaged for me without me wanting them to come off. But this is nice, it just frees up, gets rid of this adapter and frees up this cable for you if you wanna go that route. But I really never needed to. So I have this Anker GAN laptop charger with 3 ports right here. And what I'm gonna do is just show you that they plug in well together. So I have this one going downward, and then I have the other one flipping upward, and it actually works relatively well. So even in those close of quarters next to one another, I don't actually need to take these off. So I never needed that, but you might find yourself in a situation where it would be better to take these adapters off than leave them on. It's a nice option to have should you need it. And then the last thing that I wanna talk about is this little plastic mount that you can add to your desk. So there's a little piece of sticky tape on the outside. Let me just get this stuff out of the way and show you with the longer one. So you would just peel this off and stick it onto your desk. I actually didn't test this, but it is a nice option should you want it. And then if you have the cable like going across your desk, and you want it kind of staying on this side of your desk, you can actually thread the cable right through here, and then it'll kind of stay in place and not move down. Another great thing with this small 1-foot version is you can kind of use this loop part to hook onto items. So I have a backpack right here with this little opening right here. I can actually pull that off, thread this through, throw those magnets back on, and recap this. So if you ever have any need to have this in front of you or strapped to your bag or strapped to something else, you can definitely do that. I wouldn't 100% trust it in this because as we saw earlier, that cap can slide off and there's a chance that this could fall down. However, if you just want to stash it somewhere and you're going to be keeping an eye on it, something like this could work well. So there you have it, my thoughts on Rolling Square's inCharge XL cables. Again, a really great little cable for travel. I love the size of this 1-foot version, but these other sizes here, the 6-foot and the 10-foot work well, depending on what you need when you're on the road. So thank you for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We will see you in the next video.